Hey yogis, Jen here. Welcome to 4 limbs, 1 practice, where we are going to integrate 4 limbs into 1 practice for the next 25 minutes to half an hour. This is the first class of the series, so welcome. I am so stoked to have you here as we integrate a bit more of a traditional practice into our daily routine. So we're going to go through 4 different limbs, that being pranayama, dharana, dhyana, and asana. So this basically means that we're going to ensure that we have a breathing practice, a mantra practice, so something to concentrate or focus on. We're going to ensure that we also have a meditation and a bit of an asana practice. So we're taking a very traditional route in this series, and yeah, it's just going to be a lot of fun. So get in a comfortable position on your mat. We're not going to be using any props today, except for maybe a meditation cushion for you to sit on, especially if you're one of these guys and your hamstrings are super tight and it's hard for you to sit up tall. So sitting up tall is how we're going to start. Now, we're going to start with a pranayama practice known as Kapalabhati. Now, Kapalabhati is arguably more of a kriya or a cleansing practice because it actually purifies our system. That being said, it still involves our breath control and the control of our life force energy, which is why it is also considered a pranayama practice. So if you've never practiced Kapalabhati, you're basically just taking very short, quick breaths out the nose. So for example, and notice that when I breathe out, my belly pulls back. And when I breathe in, it's very quick, my belly comes out. So you can think of it as you breathe out, you're closing down the belly, making less room for the air. As you inhale, you're expanding the belly, making more room for the air to come in. So quick breaths, we're only focusing on the exhale. The inhale will just kind of naturally happen. Now it's important to note that if you are menstruating, please don't do this practice, and instead just take very mindful, full breaths. And you can come back to this another time after your cycle. All right, so closing down the eyes if you can, maybe bringing the palms to face the sky. And let's just take 3 deep breaths to prepare. So full inhale through the nose, feel the belly expand. Full exhale through the nose, feel the belly drop. Again, full inhale. And full exhale. Last one, full breath in. And complete breath out. Now inhale to prepare, feel the belly expand. And we're going to do 10 breaths of Kapalabhati, so quick exhales. And then let all the air out. Hold it out completely. Pull the belly in. Close the mula bandha, so lift up your perineum, the muscle that you engage when you stop yourself from peeing. And then take a full inhale through the nose, allow the belly to expand. And again, 10 breaths out, and the 11th breath is going to be a longer breath to get everything out. Hold it all out. Closing your mula bandha, closing your throat so that you don't feel any of the breath flowing in and out of the body. Pulling the belly in. Then take a full inhale. So delicious. And again, one last time, 10 breaths. Letting all the air out. This time, pull up from the mula bandha and bring your chin down to your chest as you also engage the belly, keeping it strong. When you bring the chin down towards the chest, you can feel an even stronger lock in the throat. Holding it out completely. Then inhale fully. Feel the body relax and exhale completely. And allowing the breath to flow back into a natural rhythm. Being with these more clear and cleansed vibrations that our life force energy just helped us create and cultivate. So 1 limb down, pranayama down, 3 to go. Next we're going to move into our dharana practice. So this is the practice of concentration or focus. And for this practice we're going to be chanting mantra. So if you know the Saha Now mantra, you're welcome to chant it with me as well as repeat after me. I'll be leaving a bit of space for you to repeat if you're just learning the mantra. And know that this mantra is and has been created to invoke divine consciousness. So it really is one of the most practiced, I would say, mantras in the Vedic worldview, in the Vedic lineage. And it's a practice that is chanted typically at the beginning of practice, kind of like what we're doing now, by the teacher and the student together. So in time, you'll be able to chant this practice or chant this mantra on your own. So just know that if you do practice it on your own, just because you don't have a teacher right in front of you, that doesn't mean that you can't practice it, because at the same time, you are also both the teacher and the student. All right, so closing down the eyes, if you open them back up, let's bring our palms to our heart center in a prayer. Take a full inhale to prepare. Complete exhale, let it go. And then repeat after me, breathe in. Sahana vavatu. Sahana bonaktu. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvina vadhitomastu. Vavidvishavahai. Let's Om together. Om. Again, repeat after me. Sahana vavatu. Sahana bonaktu. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvina vadhitomastu. Vavidvishavahai. Oming together. Om. One last time, you repeat after me, and then we'll chant a few times together. If you get lost along the way, no worries, just do your best. It'll come to you eventually. Sahana vavatu. Sahana bonaktu. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvina vadhitomastu. Vavidvishavahai. together, just do your best. Sahana vavatu, Sahana bonaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitomastu, Ma vivashavahai. Om. Sahana vavatu, Sahana bonaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitomastu, Ma vidvishavahai. Om. Last one. Sahana vavatu, Sahana bonaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitomastu, Ma vidvishavahai. Om. Dropping your hands down into your lap, keeping the eyes closed. And feeling the vibration that was invoked upon. Noticing the subtleties inside the body. The subtle shifts, the subtle, alive vibrations. The subtle sense of greater spaciousness. And keeping the eyes closed as we seamlessly shift into our meditation or dhyana practice. And for this moment, just feel the vibrations on your outer physical body. Feel any sensation on the outer physical body. Noticing the way that your clothes feel as they rest on your skin. Or maybe you feel a kind of tingling sensation after chanting mantra together. And don't hold any judgment to what you're noticing or if you're not noticing anything. Simply just notice. Know that dhyana or meditation doesn't necessarily arrive with our knowing. But quite often when we meditate, we actually have no idea. So if you're not feeling a sense of meditation, just trust whatever you're feeling right now. And then begin to draw your attention to the very inside of your body. Noticing your heart beating. Noticing any sensation around the belly or around the space behind the eyes or below the crown of the head. And just notice how it feels. And then begin to draw your attention to the space outside. the space outside of your physical body. Noticing if you can feel any sort of vibration or energy that's around you. Just noticing. If you can't, great. If you can, great. Just noticing what's happening outside of the body. And then effortlessly draw your attention back to yourself, back to your own body. And we're going to begin the asana side of the practice in a child's pose. So your arms stretched out long, your bum onto your heels, your belly onto your thighs, pressing the palms of your hands onto the mat. And we're going to move forward in this practice in a very traditional sense, taking on just a few poses with long holds so that we can really observe ourselves in each pose. If we move back to the basics of tradition, this is exactly what the yogis did. They would even say that you only mastered an asana or a pose if you were able to hold it for 3 hours. Luckily, we're not going to do that. All right, as you inhale, bring yourself up into a tabletop. And as you exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up high, and push back into a downward facing dog. Keeping your fingertips extended out long, pulling your chest over towards the upper thighs, pulling your sit bones up and back, having a slight external rotation from the shoulders, and doing your best to keep your legs as straight as you can get them. So if you have a little bend in your knees, that's okay. Just make sure that you are working towards them being as straight as possible. Really pressing the heels down in towards the earth, maybe even lifting the toes. Allowing the head to fall and hang heavy. Or you're welcome to, if you want to do more of an Ashtanga sort of stance, you can bring the chin towards the chest and look at the belly. Otherwise, just allow the head to hang, for the crown of the head to point towards the floor. Pushing the sit bones back. Staying here for 5 more breaths. If your body is starting to feel tense or tight, no worries. Before you drop out of the pose, take some moments to observe the aversion that you may be experiencing to holding this pose. Taking one more full breath, please. Beautiful, and then slowly walk your hands your feet towards your hands. Allow yourself to just hang here so you can let the shoulders relax, let the spine relax. Beautiful. Micro bend the knees, drop the hands down, then inhale, slowly come all the way up to a stand, pressing the palms together, looking up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center and then down by the sides. Having your palms face forward, the big toes come to touch. There's a small space between the heels. The chin is in line with the earth. The crown of the head pulls up. So even though we're just standing, we're not just standing. The kneecaps are lifted, the legs are engaged, the core is strong. The gaze just comes past your nose, using the tip of your nose or the space beyond the tip of your nose as a drishti point, so as a point to focus on. And notice that we so often come into this shape, this standing shape, and we kind of, we don't really notice all the benefits of it. We just kind of do it passively as a transition. So what I'm inviting in here is when we go back to the tradition of yoga, every single pose was felt. Every single pose was engaged. We allowed the muscles to tighten. And we allowed ourselves to stay in these shapes and push really through the discomfort. Taking 5 more breaths here. Noticing if you need to adjust your stance, maybe your shoulders come further away from the ears. The crown of the head pulls up higher. The feet ground further into the earth. And be with the discomfort. Get curious about the discomfort and surrender to it. One more breath, yogis. Beautiful. Then inhale, reach the arms up nice and high. Look up. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the heart center in a prayer. Now inhale, begin to lift the right knee up. And as you exhale, gently step it back as we prepare for a warrior one stance. So we have heel to heel alignment. The back foot is out at a 45-degree angle while the inner thigh pulls up and back. Lifting your arms up nice and high. Twisting your left hip back and right hip forward. And if you can, maybe dipping down further into that left knee. Reaching up high with the fingers, pulling back and down with the shoulders. Tucking the belly in. Pelvis pulls up, tailbone tucks down. Staying here for a nice, delicious amount of time. Do your best not to be attached to the amount of breaths that we are here for, but instead be with the discomfort. Let's really give the muscles an opportunity to fully activate right now. Scissoring the inner thighs together, almost as if you were trying to move both of your feet towards one another. Staying for 5, 4, 3, 2, maybe go a bit deeper, and 1. Beautiful, yogi. Now, if you need to, you can bring your arms down by your sides, take a momentary break, and then we're just going to shift to the other side and shifting into your warrior one on the opposite leg. So remember, we have heel to heel alignment. The arms are up tall. If you need a bit of a break, you can just drop them down for a sec and then pull them back up. But again, notice if you actually need a break or you are just a little bit scared of the discomfort. If you're scared of the discomfort, I invite you to lean into it. Those uncomfortable moments are my favorite because that's where the real growth and the real change, the real transformation begin to occur. Check in with your alignment, ensure that you haven't been slacking because we're here a little bit longer. So the front knee is bent and strong. The back thigh is pulling up and back. The outside of the back foot is pushing firmly into the earth, while at the same time, the hips are squaring off, the crown of the head is pulling up. 5 more breaths here. Two more. You got this, yogi. Shifting into your warrior 2 stance now, moving the feet so that the right heel is now in line with the center of the left foot. Pushing deeply into that front knee so that you create a close to 90-degree angle. Maybe we can get really into a space of challenging ourselves by bringing it to a 90-degree angle, pushing into the outside of the back of the foot. The crown of the head is directly above the tailbone. The spine is in one straight line. I'm not leaning forward at all. This tends to happen a lot in yoga, but we're not trying to go anywhere, okay? We want to stay here. We want to stay centered. Staying here for 5 more. Maybe going a little bit deeper. 3, 2, last breath. Beautiful, yogis. Second last pose. Shifting into the other side for warrior 2 stance on the left foot. Remember, the feet are at a heel to arch alignment. The fingertips are extending in either direction. Crown of the head is pulling up. Tailbone is tucking down. Notice just how you feel here. Don't have any expectation or preference of how you should feel, but instead just notice how you do feel. My arms are definitely feeling tired, so if yours are, you're not alone. Taking 5 more breaths here. Scissoring the inner thighs together, keeping the core strong. 3. Keeping the gaze directly over the left fingertips. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Begin to straighten both of your legs and heel toe them in so that they are about triple hip width distance apart. Bring the hands onto your hips. And as you exhale, just allow yourself to do a nice wide-legged forward fold. Crossing the arms, allowing the head to drop down, maybe just swaying side to side a little bit. Beautiful. And then shifting your way onto the mat with your bum down. Legs out wide, arms out wide, palms facing the sky. And just allowing yourself to feel the benefits of this brief but very potent, traditionally inspired practice. And enjoy this Shavasana, this place to completely let go, to completely surrender to whatever is happening around you for as long as you may like. I'll see you in our next class. Namaste.